Villagers, welcome
Hello.
to PTV Live. I'm Arnie.
And I'm Doug.
It's a special edition of PTV Live. We don't usually go live on Sunday afternoon this early. Usually we reserve the daily dose for 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Pacific. But we decided to go ahead and do this since it was going to work better for our friends across the pond. And right now, let's go ahead and take a look and see who's here. And there we are. Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
For those of you that are not familiar with anyone here in the stream, we have Dougie with Walt-O-Grams. Hello, Dougie.
Hello.
With Paul, he's one half of that UK Disney couple.
Hello.
And then we have Nathan Staker. Nathan, welcome to PTV Live.
Hello. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. If you have any questions for any of the channels, go ahead and just start putting them in the stream. We're going to be asking some questions of our wonderful guests today.
Do we want to from some of the people that are starting
Ben,
to come in?
Yeah, Ben, can you do a check? I will as soon as I'm able to. Okay, hold on. I'm so up on all the technology here. Mike Wheeler is here, of course. Amy of AJC Magic TV, Fox Hollow, Todd, welcome to the stream. Judy Hazel, welcome. Cynthia of Candy Mom 15, welcome. Bargarat is here as well.
Lewis.
Anybody there? Awesome, Lewis. Okay. And Pam's fam and Tina Marie is here as well. So welcome all. And we look forward to the chat today. Okay. Take it away. So Doug, why don't you go ahead and ask your first question?
My first question?
Yeah, go ahead and ask your question and direct it to anyone.
Well, it's a two-part question.
Okay, well, go for it.
Okay, my two-part question is, how old are you currently, and how old were you when you went to your first Disney theme park, and which one is it? So there's three parts. So I want to know your age now, the age where you were when you went to your first Disney theme park, and which Disney theme park was that?
Who's going to answer first?
We can do.
Okay, let's go to Paul.
I was going to say, I think Dougie from Walt-O-Grams was at the opening, weren't you, Dougie? 50 years ago, give or take.
Wow.
No, he's
coming out.
I thought I was the curmudgeon of it all, and Mr. Fredrickson, but he really takes the cake.
Hi, Dougie.
I don't know how to respond to Paul because we're on a a stream where I have to
G-rated stream, yeah.
So there's a few choice words that I would have that I can't use, and it's upsetting. So wait a minute, am I answering the questions first?
Yes.
How old are you now? How old were you when you first went to your first Disney theme park, and what theme park was that?
Okay, now I actually have to do some maths.
Wow.
I think I'm 32. Because I'll be honest, after because when you're in the UK, everything hits legal at 18. You just sort of stop counting. So for years after I turned 18, it was like, oh, how old are you? 18? Because it's that panic. So yeah, I must be around 32. I went to my first Disney park in 1994. So I think I would have been turning. I think I turned 7 over there. I think I went for my birthday, and that was Walt Disney World. Because my mum and dad, and it's something that I carry on just now, very anti Disneyland Paris, despite them never having been. They just hated it. Largely, I think, because everyone in the UK hates the French. So
That's fair.
Yeah. We have people that call them the frogs, but that's a different thing.
Paul doesn't seem to be opposed to that.
It's one of the very few things that Dougie and I actually agree on.
Well, it's a known thing. It's not something to hide. It's just a known thing. It's just this whole UK French thing. It's just always been like that since the dawn of time. So it's not a big secret.
Okay, Paul, go ahead. And,
so
your turn, Paul.
Yes. So my first. So I'm 33 now. My first trip to Disney World was when I was 14. Sorry, 13. And it was shortly after my mum had passed away. My dad took me to Disney World. It seemed like a wonderful holiday to just me and him to go away. And that was the first time that I ever went to a Disney park. Shortly followed up by, again, agreeing with Dougie on this, the sensational disappointment of Disneyland Paris. And to this day, it still gives me that same disappointing expectation every time I visit it. Cheryl, on the other hand, she does actually have a far wider, far greater range and history of being in Disney parks compared to myself. She's been to California a couple of times. I know she's been to Disney World more times than I can actually put fingers in the air. So if it comes to a Disney World expert in our household, it's definitely my darling wife.
Oh, wonderful. And Nathan, how about you?
Yes, well, I'm the baby of the group. I am 22, turn 23 in a couple of months' time. Who was that laughing? Yeah, first went to Disney World in 2000. It's the only park or resort I've actually been to. Never even been to Paris, but hopefully looking to change that soon. Hopefully.
Wonderful. Okay.
Okay, I'm 45. I went to Disneyland. I was born here on the West Coast area of the United States in a town called Reno, Nevada. From a family of 6, so we didn't really do. My dad owned his own business, so we didn't travel that lot. And then when I was 13 in 1987, I went to Disneyland for the first time. And because, of course, Disneyland's on the West Coast here in California, we drove down there. And my first time ever, not knowing it, even though I was kind of a big Disney fan, was my first time inside Disneyland was on July 17th. Not knowing that it was Disneyland's birthday because they didn't do anything. And I didn't look back until I still have all the paperwork and all the tickets of everything that we have. So I was 13 and I went to Disneyland. For Walt Disney World, it was 1998, Labor Day weekend here, the first part of September. So that was the first time in Walt Disney World. And I haven't really left this country. So, I mean, I've been to Mexico and the Caribbean because we've been on a Disney cruise twice. But we're kind of North American kind of people. Not that I don't love the rest of the world. It's just, we're here. So that's my Disney beginning of my Disney seed of addiction and love. So
we will get to that question in a second, Cynthia.
I've been called the Mr. Fredrickson curmudgeon of Disney, but it seems like Dougie takes the cake. So Ben can or Arnie can speak for both, or you guys could take part back and forth.
Why don't you go ahead, Ben?
All right. I'm 55 years old. Funny thing is, Arnie's 55 as well. We went to our first Disney park in 1965 when we were still babies.
Yeah.
Disneyland has been our home park, and we've been there more times than I can actually count. We used to live in Southern California for about 3 years in the mid-90s, and we had annual passes way back then. And Arnie, why don't you tell them about the story of collecting all the cards in 1995?
Sure. Disneyland was celebrating their 40th anniversary, and it was for the introduction of the Indiana Jones adventure. So they were doing a 40 years of adventures promotion. They did so at Disneyland by counting down 41 days until the opening of the Indiana Jones attraction on March 3rd, 1995. So they counted back and started with the first day of a trading card promotion, giving away 1955. And it was the opening of the park. And then every successive year was each next day. So 55, 56, 57. And I went to Disneyland every day during that promotion to get that trading card. And because Ben looked so much like me, I would use his annual pass as well and enter the park for him so he could get a card as well.
Where's the deck of cards?
I think the trading cards are
Yes, right there. Let me get my gloves. Everybody knows about my
So that was in 95. But yeah, so I've easily been to Disneyland during that time, that 3-year period, at least 500 times. At least.
Yeah. Well, when you down there,
we were living there, so it was very easy.
He would pull up, drive, park, we mailed. Now you pay all your bills online. He would take his mail, go inside Disneyland, mail it, come back out, and drive away. Just goes to Disneyland to go mail as a post office.
Yeah, but like Ben said, we went to Disneyland for the first time in August of 1965. It actually was the week of the Watts riots in Southern California. So we had an entertaining time with that. But yeah, that's our time. My first time at Walt Disney World was January of 1996. And Ben, you were October of 96?
October, yeah, Halloween of 1996 for the 25th anniversary. Here, hold on.
So there we are. That's the trading card set. 40 years of adventures.
And it's numbered, and it has the checklist. And
this is actually a full pack. I got that because I renewed my annual pass. It doesn't open that way.
The slides.
It's a kind of a pop open thing. I've never. No, don't bother.
Well, yeah, they're just individual cards, and they has that frame, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And there's a little bit, these are this complete set.
Okay.
And so now, the last question, have anybody been to California or into Disneyland?
I wish.
No.
My darling wife has.
Okay.
Hang on one sec. Hang on.
Okay.
We have an open invitation on this, and that is anytime you come to California, we will go there with you. We will show you around Walt's Park.
Yeah,
I'm reliably informed it's been nearly 18 years since Cheryl actually last went to California.
Oh,
it's changed just a tad. No, it's pretty good. So, people love to go with us because we will walk around the park and we'll be like, they moved the trash can. I mean, it's so well. And I mean, it's just, it's just Disneyland. And when people go, we said, this is exactly where Walt stood. We have the exact dimensions of where Walt stood when he dedicated Disneyland, which started this for every one of us, the love for Disney.
Yeah, people seem to want to hang out with us now at Disneyland. So anytime people do come to Southern California, if we can coordinate it, we will be there and we will enjoy the park with some of our villagers. Okay, so let's see. Next question, I guess I have for everyone there in the UK. I'd like to know, what is your favorite park of the parks that you have visited, and what attraction is your favorite as well? Let's start with Dougie.
Oh, right. Actually, probably less so now that it actually has things to do. But I really loved MGM for it being quieter and just having Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. Tower of Terror is my favorite thing ever because I'm a big fan of the Twilight Zone, and I love the setup and the atmosphere of the ride. So I loved MGM, and now that it's full of people, well, not right now, but when Star Wars opened and it was full of people everywhere, I was a bit upset because also I'm not really interested in the Galaxy's Edge. It's been ruined.
All agreeing with that.
Why put something non-Disney in a Disney park? Come on, it's like. Don't get me started. We could do a whole video just on this, honestly.
Yeah, don't get me started. Bad idea.
Yeah, Nathan sat there listening to my ramblings about Star Wars not being Disney for long enough.
Oh, many a time.
Yeah, I will never get it. To us being hardcore we're older folk now. The whole Star Wars Marvel thing, I just will never get it. I mean, I appreciate for what they are, because we could go back into the early 80s when we were born. I mean, we were born with Star Wars. But to me, it's not Disney. It never will be Disney. And it's just, that's the end of story. That's just but it doesn't mean I don't appreciate it or don't like it. But it's so not.
Lewis
and I will be talking offline after this stream. By the way, sorry, I now feel like I'm going to have to disagree with Dougie on the rest of the show now, because that's two strikes where I've agreed with him on something, and we
are becoming civil.
Never.
Wow. That's a feathered planet.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So
England are
yeah.
always the aggressors. Scotland's always trying to just be cool and mind its own business, and England have always got to be just poking us and upset us.
Dougie, we have someone coveting your Disney room, so that's a nice thing.
He's like,
Can you take us on a tour of your stuff behind you?
There's some things. There's stuff over there, and assorted knickknacks here and there.
I do see a partner statue back there, and I see the goddess that sits in the Polynesian.
you got all the little busts of the Haunted Mansion.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
You have
And
the Haunted
then-
Mansion.
Oh, look,
Things,
hitchhiking ghosts are there. Madame Leota.
Yeah, there's some stuff. There is a room tour up on YouTube that I need to refilm because it's all changed around. But if there's anybody who wants to look at the stuff, there's a video up somewhere there.
Wonderful.
Oh, Wardy's World. Welcome to the stream.
So, Paul,
Yes.
your favorite themed park and your favorite attraction.
So for both Cheryl and I, we do thoroughly like Epcot more than probably most of the other parks.
Okay.
I think it's purely that it
Yeah.
feels less. I think it feels less like a theme park, and that's the thing. There's something different at Epcot compared to the rest of the parks. But we're slightly torn at the moment for our favourite rides. We can't ever make our mind up between, in terms of attractions, whether we think the whole of Toy Story Land, what with Slinky Dog, is as good, or whether we're kind of more into Avatar and what they've done with that land. It's just safe to say that we're going to put Galaxy's Edge nowhere near the top.
Okay.
Oh, you can't have Star Wars, but Avatar, that's okay.
Oh, the quibbling of the UK British.
We're going to have to explain why we're like this, Dougie. And I mean, mainly the reason we're like this is because of you. But anyway, so sorry, Nathan. I think it was your turn next, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, my favourite park is either Animal Kingdom or Epcot, just because neither of them are like any other theme park. We've got loads of theme parks obviously in the UK, and nothing of Disney is anything like that anyway, but Epcot, Animal Kingdom just doesn't feel like a theme park, as Paul said. Favourite ride? Slinky, probably. Do like Flight Passage and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I know when that opened, it got a bit of stick about it being so short and things like that, but I actually really enjoyed that. But yeah, I've got plenty of favourite rides. I know you're supposed to only have one favourite, but oh well.
Yeah, you can have a conglomerate.
Yeah, my last time to Walt Disney World was 2012. So
Yeah.
all of that came after that. So I have not yet experienced any of those. But I must say, I do love the Tower of Terror, more so at Disney MGM, simply because of how
Well, the Disneyland one or California Adventure, that's the whole Marvel thing, or the
Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy
it's
Mission
blowing
Breakout
people away.
is a great
it is
attraction.
one of the
It
best.
really is. But the mechanism of the elevator leaving the shaft and moving through the hotel, that's what I just find fascinating.
So mine is, we can't, obviously it's Disneyland, not because it's Walt's first and it's Disneyland. We can't compare that. But yes, it's Disneyland. But if I had to take another one outside of that, would be absolutely Epcot. Close second would be Animal Kingdom. To me, that is absolutely, some of the best parks. If you just take it outside of Disneyland. And in mine is Haunted Mansion, the Railroad, and Space Mountain. I think are my core. Oh, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride at Disneyland, because it's
Yeah.
Disneyland and it's Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad is fun.
So those are the ones I kind of have to go on, and I pretty much do go on. I mean, we have so much, else, and the Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland is by far. I mean, it's no discussion. It's better at Disneyland than anywhere else, too. I don't know. Shanghai is supposed to be very good, but I, of course, who's ever going to get to go to Shanghai?
So
Not at the moment.
Yeah, I think all of us are going to be like, we can't even leave our own house right now.
now, here's a question that a lot of people are kind of always curious
Well,
about.
Ben didn't answer his, favorite.
I guess, yeah. Ben,
theme
what's your
park
favorite theme? Your favorite Disney theme park?
besides Knott's Chicken Dinner?
That's
What?
Well, I'm just saying it. I've said themed park, and I thought he was going to answer Knott's Chicken Dinner and Knott's Berry Farm.
No. For a welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Wow,
Oh, wonderful.
Great British Mickey.
I love that channel name.
That's hysterical. Okay.
I wholeheartedly say It's a Small World at Disneyland is my favorite attraction.
Yeah.
I may be in the minority on that, but
Oh yeah.
It's Dougie's favourite ride. He loves it.
When we're all together, we go on that attraction ad nauseum.
I would rather die.
well, Dougie, in my defense, the attraction at Disneyland is supposedly much better than it is at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, but it's not. It's the song, though, isn't it? It just makes you want to stick a power drill into your ears.
Okay. So earlier in the stream, they asked Paul and Dougie the I don't want to say animosity because that's not the word for it. the playful talk. Why is it?
Yeah,
that?
the friendly banter.
Yes, Dougie, I think you always tend to explain this better. It's it's a British thing.
Do you want the actual reason, or in keeping with the tone?
I want the truth. I want the honest to God truth.
Dougie, you can't call me what you call me on this live stream.
No. This is a family show, Dougie. I wouldn't, obviously. I just okay. So I've only met up with Paul twice.
Oh, you guys met in real life, in real person?
Paul was up in Aberdeen. Well, you were in Aberdeen for work, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was.
You flew to Inverness, but so Paul was up in Aberdeen for work, and we'd arranged that I would go and we'd just grab some food and a couple of drinks.
Okay.
And then Paul came and met up with me the last time I was flying out to Florida. He met me at Gatwick, and again, a couple of drinks. And we got on really, really well because I think we've both got that sort of deep-seated anger issues, and we'd like to complain about things. So we just got on well. And in the UK, when you start getting on with people, immediately you have to start being horrible. It's if you are friendly to someone, it means that there's animosity, and the more vile you are to someone, the better you get on. And I think we actually get on quite well. And this is just the way we express it. You have to be
express your love to each other. I get it. It's the opposite of it. Okay. No.
And there is just without saying the words, there is one particular word which causes immense offense if you use it in America. That over here is used as a casual term of endearment.
Every culture has those.
I've used that word once in America, and in anger towards someone, and the shock that it caused blew my mind, because here it's like, hello, how are you?
See, Dougie and I actually can't disagree too much with Dougie. The thing that I do for my job is I travel around the UK quite a lot, and I have got a customer not too far from Dougie. So whenever I've had the opportunity to go up and see Dougie, we have Dougie said, we spent some time together. He tried to poison me with Scottish delicacy, and that's why when you said he was sending you a care package, I was a little bit concerned how you fit heart disease into a package. Now I actually know that it comes in the form of baked lard with salt and some sort of bonding agent. I'm not quite sure if it was cement, but it was in there somewhere, definitely.
Good thick butter. It's just, yeah. There's a reason that Scotland has a massively lower life expectancy than England.
I must say though, I'm curious to try the haggis crisps. So
I wouldn't lose sleep if you don't get to try them.
Oh, they're coming. And some tasty iron brew and red cola and other things.
Well, the red cola was all right. The red cola was okay. I'll give you the red cola. That's probably the only delicacy I've ever had from your neck of the woods that actually didn't leave me wanting to brush. I mean, to be fair, it had so much sugar in it, I genuinely felt like I had to brush my teeth for 15 minutes. But other than that, the flavour was right up there.
Oh my gosh.
It's because it's just water, sugar, and red food colouring. You can't get better.
I didn't expect there to be anything else in it after tasting it.
So when's the last everybody's been inside a Disney theme park?
Sore subject.
When's the last time you darkened the doorstep of a Disney theme park?
For us, we left. So our last trip was October. We left October 10th, and Nathan, I think you were the day before us, weren't you? If I remember rightly.
I was, yeah, the 9th.
Of this past of 2019?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then you've been in a Disney theme park more recently than I have, because the last time I went was in September.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, so both Nathan, Cheryl, and myself, we were actually all meant to be out there. Well, Nathan, you're still meant to be out there at the moment, aren't you? I think, or was it fly home today?
I'm meant to be at the airport.
Yeah.
I'm meant to be flying home today.
Cheryl and I are meant to have been home 3 days now, but obviously with everything that's gone on, less than ideal. But it is what it is. We've rebooked for May, and we've got a feeling that we're going to be rebooking that as well. So it's it's just an ongoing kind of guessing game at the moment. So, but yeah, that was. You've had iron brew and haggis. Neither are bad. Well, both aren't good though, are they? Iron brew, I'll give you. Iron brew, I could drink quite easily, but haggis, rather.
One of the only countries in the world where any soft drink outsells Coca-Cola.
wow, that is something.
And Dougie, when's the last time you darkened the doorstep of a Disney theme park?
November. That was the time Paul came out to meet me. Met me at the airport, and then we drank drinks in the hotel. It was good. I had full intentions of vlogging it, and then I couldn't be bothered.
I know that feeling.
I got out there, and I was just like, "Oh, you know what? Nah." It's cold because it was cold, and I was horrified. This is my streaming jacket. I only wear it when I go on stream. I had to buy a jacket in Florida. I had no idea what was going on, and so I was in quite a grumpy mood because I was like, I could have this back home.
More than usual. You were in a grumpy mood more than usual.
More than usual, yeah. And I was getting messages.
I just want to be clear on that. Dougie.
And I was getting messages from back home. They're like, "It's quite warm today." I was like, "Well, bad words."
Yeah,
joke to death.
September.
It was the end of September was us, and it was Disneyland, and it was a bunch of other family stuff because we were going through. So, yeah, it's been a period, and then we had all grand intention to be there. For me, I've been inside Disneyland Park on Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving here in the U.S., Halloween Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, U.S., Memorial Day. So I've been inside Disneyland on all major holidays, but I've never been in Easter Sunday. So we were going to do Easter Sunday, do practically the second to the last weekend of the Food and Wine Festival at California Adventure, and we were going to get into kind of the tail end of the Boysenberry Festival at Knott's Berry Farm. because Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland are kind of, they're a drive, but it's just kind of a hop, skip, and a jump.
About 10, 15 minutes away.
Yeah. So we wanted to get all that in.
They're about as close as, let's say, Animal Kingdom is to the Magic Kingdom.
Absolutely. So think of it that way. So we had all intents and purposes. I was going to see my brother, my niece down, because my brothers live in Southern California. And, well, we obviously know why, and we don't know when we might be going back compared to all of it. And it's going to be so drastically different when we do go.
So Sean says we need a Disney Parks meetup chat and drinks.
I put all of my Trader Sam's mug. I finally unpacked everything from our, 27 Christmas trees. It takes us 3 months to put in and a couple months to take down. I finally dealt with that, and I took all my mugs that I got at Trader Sam's and I put it all on display. And I'm like, because we collect all the different tiki mugs from. I love everything tiki Trader Sam's.
I must say, I am missing Trader Sam's right now.
I'm missing the Trader Sam's. Trader Sam's
I could do with a drink.
Is just one of the best.
Well, you've got a full bar in your dining room, so why don't you just go ahead and make yourself an adult beverage?
We did last night,
We
actually.
did. When we watched Dumbo, the live action.
It's a good thing we had a drink while watching Dumbo.
Why?
Oh, you didn't hear us? Okay, has anybody seen the live action
Have you
Dumbo?
seen the live action from last year?
No.
Yes, it's not good.
Nathan, Paul, have you seen it?
I've got no intention of watching any Disney live action movies. I'll come on to that later. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, we watched
Live action. I despise live action even more than Star Wars.
Yeah, we were rather traumatized by the film last night.
Yeah, I was like, do you want me to stop it? Because I wanted movie night. I wanted to see the live action Dumbo. I'm actually a big Tim Burton fan for just not because of Disney Nightmare Before Christmas, but I appreciate his art.
That's an odd thing to appreciate. I mean, he's a hack.
Talk about burning.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna. And so we put it on, and we were starting to get traumatized from it because of just the way the setting was. And I honestly, it's a good movie, but it's not what I expected. It was not what I expected, and it's nothing like the animated feature.
Yeah,
I don't know how people said that it matches the animation.
I've subjected myself to 2 live action movies. I call them the remakes that didn't need to be made, and I subjected myself to 2 of them. I've watched Aladdin, unfortunately, and then put myself through the abysmal remake that was Mary Poppins. My darling wife has actually watched Lewis. Yes, you know I'm grumpy. That's why you and I get on so well, with you being an old age pensioner. Cheryl has watched The Lion King, and she said that if she ever has to see that film in any shape or form again, she'll probably want to kill herself.
Yeah,
I'm afraid that's my movie.
I just have not watched it.
I will, because I love Lion King in every shape and form. 1994, all hell, Lion King, hell. But when it came out, I just don't get it. I'll see it because I have a morbid curiosity. But yeah, it's the whole. Well, we'll go in the whole diatribe about live action in a bit, but
Lion King is one of the, I think, 3 films now I've ever walked out of. I don't pay to go to the cinema, and I felt like I'd been ripped off by that movie. It was so bad.
Wow, one thing about the British, they are the UK people. They tell it the way it is. There's no beating around the bush.
Yeah.
So, different from us, Americans.
Okay, so let's go ahead and ask another question here. Food. We are a big foodie channel here.
Big foodie.
We like to discuss food a lot. Now, when you go to the parks, what is that one thing that you must have every time you go to Florida? Or maybe a couple of things.
Well, look, I mean, we've already established that as a Scotsman, my standards for food are terrible. Because
That is actually the truth. I mean, there's
one thing I hear quite often is people like slagging off theme park food, and I'm there just like, this is amazing. These things have flavors.
Yeah.
So I'm also fat, so I'm pretty much content with anything that gets thrown at me in a Disney park. I think it's great. So let's just that's my answer. Just whatever's on the go. I'm easy
You're
nosy.
like the American palate. You're the American flavor palette. You just absolutely right.
Food that has flavors is a novelty for Scottish people.
Okay.
And also it's like I'm not allowed cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, but they serve that delicious yellow goop that doesn't have any actual cheese in it.
No, it's plastic.
Oh, the plastic cheese.
Oh
Yes.
God,
And
plastic cheese is
it's delightful because I can eat it. And
Yes.
yeah, so I don't really have an answer. Just whatever. I'm just throw me in there and I'm happy. There was you were talking about the churros yesterday and the thing and being like, oh, free churros. And like, oh, I'll take a free churro. It's something that's not just some lard with breadcrumbs on. So let's have it.
The Colossus cinnamon roll is the great British waffle.
What is more that's done? So.
Really, yeah. I mean,
Okay. Paul.
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that.
Yeah. How do you follow that? Have you confused yourself?
When it comes to food, Cheryl and I always had a routine. So for us, the kind of first thing we always aimed for, because we always stay at Coronado Springs, and up to now, that is still the only resort we've ever stayed at on site. And the driver for us was always get to Coronado, throw our bags in our room, and head straight down and grab a flatbread pizza. So that for us was always the driver. It was a case of we've got to have that. We've got to have that flatbread pizza. As time's gone on, it's still the ritual, but actually there's other things now that we go to, like Columbia Harbour House in Magic Kingdom. For me, it's anywhere I can get tater tots. Absolutely anywhere I can get tater tots, I will run to. Even if it's hot, I will run to there. So Andy's lunchbox, where we had the breakfast bowl, which has the tater tots, the scrambled egg. For us, that was just, that for me started off the holiday beautifully with that tater tot goodness.
I must say about that, I guess the marriage of the perfect food for you and Dougie would be the tachos there at Andy's Lunchbox as well. The tater tots and the plastic cheese. And
we nearly tried that, actually. We nearly tried it last time. We didn't get back round to Andy's Lunchbox, sadly. So.
Hello, Juan Rodriguez.
We
Welcome to the stream.
get tater tots. We have a Trader Joe's, which is like an Aldi, but we also have tater tots here. I do make tater tots, get them super crispy, put on our plastic cheese, carnitas, which is shredded pork, and some jalapenos and some sour cream, and that's our meal. So we do have tater tots that you can get at Disneyland. We make the exact same thing.
And I must say, it's all kinds of yumminess.
Yeah, it's definitely an American thing.
Yeah, we actually did a video while Nathan was staying with us and I think the video is going up some point this week, where we actually tried to make tater tots at home, given that we kind of, it's the first time we've ever done it. And actually Nathan and Cheryl and myself said, actually for us, because we don't have tater tots as such, we've got like potato croquettes, which are nowhere near a tater tot. So for us, we thought, right, we've got to try this. We probably use too fine a grate, to be honest. We're going to try it again with a slightly thicker grate. But actually, we really enjoyed the first try. I think we're going to try it again because we definitely missed the tater tots.
Okay, tater tots.
I just want to interrupt for 1 second because I've remembered.
What now, Dougie?
I've remembered the food I wanted to illustrate my Americans complain about it thing. Right. So people talk about how bad Disney pizza is, famously. They're always banging on about like, pizza Rizzo's bad. The resort pizza's bad, right? In Scotland, if you go in somewhere and order pizza, unless it's a specific pizza place, most places are going to take a slice of pizza, stick it in batter and deep fat fry it, and we call it pizza crunch. And they are disgusting. So when I get a chance of like, I'm not meant to have cheese, but there's a wee cheeky bit just while you're on holiday, it's beautiful. So yeah, standards are very low. And also, T. Marie says, I'm still waiting for Dougie to do a vlog on the proper way to cook bacon. It'll be no use to you because you don't have the right kind of meat in the first place. You have little shards of glass that you cook up. And it's not bacon. Stop calling it bacon.
Sweet potato tots with maple syrup on it. That sounds
I'm
amazing.
not gonna, I never thought there'd be a day where I was the happy one on a live stream.
Wow.
Here we are.
The insults. Wow.
Oh,
Okay, you're good, Nathan.
Yes.
Well, I guess the one thing I tend to is always my go-to anyway for quick service is Disney nuggets and waffle fries from, can't remember what it's called, the one in Magic Kingdom by Splash Mountain. That's always a go-to for me, and I'm a big fan of anything sweet. So give me a donut, give me a churro, I'll be happy.
Ben, you're a big fan of nuggets.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of nuggets. Disneyland does some chicken strips and fries at a small little stage cafe thing in Frontierland. And whenever I get a chance, Arnie and Doug will go to Bengal Barbecue. I'll go get chicken strips because I love chicken strips.
Bengal Barbecue.
No, we don't really go to Bengal Barbecue.
Nothing says taste at Disneyland better than meat on a stick.
Yes. Well, that's what I was going to get to. I have an over-defined palate. I'm really fussy. My palate and food, even though I can eat.
Doesn't even begin to describe Doug.
If I hid my finger, you know what I'd be doing. Yes, I know. But the food that I have that I like that we pretty much get all the time, and it's kind of I think it's a Disneyland thing, even though they kind of have it, but it's nowhere close anywhere at the 4 parks in Florida, is a corn dog. It's a corn dog. They dip it, and it's a little wagon. They're on Main Street. They dip it in the batter. They fry it, and they give it to you. It's super crispy, and it's super big, and it's the corn dog on Main Street at Disneyland. It is life-changing. I am not joking.
I am there right now.
You literally see sparkles and fire, and you know how in Ratatouille, when Remy eats and all those like things happen, the animation in that movie? Or you know how Anton Ego, when he goes back to his childhood, he takes that bite and all of a sudden it goes whoosh. That when you take a bite of the corn dog at Disneyland, that's what happens. I am no joke. Corn.
That's better than my last experience with anything meaty on a stick. I made the mistake of the chocolate-covered bacon at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. I've never felt like $8 was worse spent in my whole time of ever going to a theme park. That disappointed me more than meeting Dougie. That really was so bad. It was terrible.
It was just all fatty and gristle. Nothing sweet about it.
It was honestly, I genuinely felt like going back and saying, can I have my money back? This is horrendous. But by that point, I pretty much consumed the one piece of very debatable bacon that was on the stick.
That's one thing about the Disney parks. Their standards on food are really high. You might not like it. It's just like when we went to New York City in 2008. One of the people said, that worked at the rest and our hotel said, all the food here in New York is perfect. It's the best, because if it isn't, it would be out of business. You might not like it, but it doesn't mean it's bad. And I always tell that with people about food in general. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's bad, because other people really appreciate it. It's your palate. Okay. And I have my palate. So I would have to say, really, I mean, there's a lot of things that I like to get, but it would be the corn dog.
Okay. So one question I wanted to ask also, but you've already touched on that one, Paul, and that is the resort you stay at is Coronado Springs, and you've only stayed at Coronado. So I guess you classify that as your favorite resort then.
Yes, I think sadly for us, and kind of one of the things on the trip we were meant to have just gone on was we were meant to have stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter, which for us was going to be a new experience because we've had the fortune of taking the boat ride from Springs over to Port Orleans French Quarter in 2018, and it was a resort where both Cheryl and I said we'd really, really love to have stayed there. We've also been to the Grand Floridian, but we didn't feel like we fitted in there. We absolutely love the Contemporary. We think that place is fantastic. Polynesian, that's Dougie's kingdom. I'll let him tell you what he does to people that go to his castle. And also, I've stayed at the All Star Sports, which I really liked. I did like the All Star Sports, but that was back in 2000. We've actually got DVC at Riviera, and I know Wardy's World were in the chat earlier. They were there in December, and they were telling us that they had a walk round Riviera, and actually said that they think we've got a really nice resort as our home, so to speak. So we can't wait for our first stay at Riviera, but also we want to try more of the other resorts because yes, we love Coronado. We've kind of seen it from in 2014 pre all the works, but we've also now seen it all the way through to completion in September 2019 when all the work was finished, and the change is just amazing. It's absolutely sensational to see what it's become from what it was. But yeah, we would like to stay at others, but Coronado for us is just our favourite because we've always been there and we like how central it is as well.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Seeing Sean in the stream, I should have invited him to join our chat as well. I'll do that at another time, though.
Oh no, we can't have two people north of Birmingham in the chat. We've got Dougie. That's it. No, we honestly, guys, unless you've got subtitles, it starts to get difficult once you get beyond Dougie and somebody else from Newcastle. So
Nathan, what are some of the resorts you've stayed at or only stayed at?
I've stayed at a couple. My favourite out of them was French Quarter. It was the first Disney resort I stayed in, and that was only a couple of years ago. Since then, I've done Art of Animation. I've done Pop Century. Both of those were good. Enjoyed probably Pop Century's rooms more because they were the refurbished rooms, but obviously they are refurbishing Art of Animation as we speak. Well, not quite as we speak, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And the only other one I've stayed at is Grand Floridian. Did that just as a one-off special one night, my Christmas trip a couple of years ago, and have to say it wasn't worth the money. I did club level just the one night as a Christmas present for my family, and yeah, it was a lot of money, and I'm not sure money well spent.
Yeah, you got to really enjoy it because it's like they're part of the overall experience, and you know, you just again justifying what it is, and you hear all the hype, and then you go in there, and it's like it's just a room, you know, it's no big deal.
Yeah, it was a nice room, and club level was nice. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't really on our side. They actually shut all the monorail down for, I think it was about 6 hours during the day, which was a little bit of an issue. We were kind of stuck inside, couldn't really do too much. But yeah, for the cost for one night, I could have probably got a week's stay in a moderate for the price I paid.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
So yeah, I kind of felt a bit out of place there as well. So yeah, it was a nice experience. It's one to tick off the list, but I think there's some other deluxes I want to try. So Poly, Contemporary, probably the top two. But I want to stay at all the resorts at some point.
Yeah, I would like to try the Contemporary too. I would like to
try the Contemporary.
I'm always amused by the 5-legged goat there. So welcome to the stream, Richard. The Orlando guy just joined. So
we've only darkened. I've done All-Star Sports, All-Star Movies. We did Port Orleans, Riverside. I did Coronado my first time ever, but I also stayed at the Disney Institute for the Milan event of 1998.
And then
we did tons of Animal Kingdom. I've stayed at Animal Kingdom so many times. It's like, I love it, but it's way out in the sticks. So we're going to now focus on the Skyway. If it's not on the Skyway, I don't want to stay anywhere else. But my thing that I've dreamed of and I will do, I'm obsessed to go over it. I love the history of it, is the Polynesian. I want to go to there so bad.
Yeah, Dougie, tell us about the Polynesian.
That's my DVC resort. It belongs to me. The whole thing is my property.
Okay.
Discussing this in the stream last night. So I've developed a tendency to go up to people and tell them that they're welcome, that I've allowed them to stay in my home, my resort. Because if you are the ruler of a land, you can't be selfish. You can't, be cruel. So you allow other people to come in to your home. But they don't seem all that grateful when I tell them that. They just look at me.
No, I appreciate
Dougie, it's when you sent me that WhatsApp video of you standing on the top of the balcony at the Polynesian, and you went, "Look at these peasants."
They're in my house, and they've come to pay me their respects as the Polynesian godfather. But yeah, I don't think I've done that many other resorts. I've done the 3 All-Stars. I've done Art of Animation a couple of times, Caribbean Beach because it's Caribbean, not Caribbean, and I did Grand Floridian for 2 nights, and they upgraded us to this ridiculous suite. I looked up the price of it, and I couldn't afford it if I saved for like 5 years. But yeah, I am what we would call in Scotland Keith. I'm scum. I don't belong at the Grand Floridian. I just felt so uncomfortable the entire time I was there, and amongst all the rich people.
I went to the Grand Floridian once, and I did that with my mom. The 2 of us did the high tea they had there. I think it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we thought, okay, you know what? We'll snack on this, and then we'll go grab dinner. Well, when we were done, we decided not to eat anything else for the rest of the day because the tea had been so extravagant, so much food. But it was a delightful experience. But I felt like a fish out of water there. It's just out of my league. Grand Floridian is just not my thing.
Yeah.
Now, I must say the equivalent in California is the Grand Californian. That one is a delightful resort. It's just so nice.
It's very homey. It's the park that's within the park. It's a hotel within the park.
It's very much like Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah.
In Florida.
It's accessible. It's homey. I mean, one thing about everything in California, it's jam-packed. So much is so jam-packed in such a small little area, but it's huge. So yeah, 3 hotels pretty much all in walking distance. So we can go to junk store to junk store to junk store, all in walking distance. And then you can go into all the different parks. What is everybody talking about?
No, just the conversation that he's having. And
things that Dougie has done that some people will never forgive him for.
So yeah, the hotel, and we can go back and forth from Disneyland and California Adventure. It's about a football field, American football field.
Yes, that does mean that is true. I mean, the Beatles officially were done at the Polynesian. So.
Yes, they signed it there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was there.
So it's your fault, Dougie.
I made sure it happened.
Wow. I'm going to have to stay at the Grand California. It's very nice. I mean, it's very nice. We've stayed there. I've stayed at the Disneyland Hotel when it's now part of it was demolished, and I've not stayed at Paradise Bar.
I must say, I've not had the breakfast at the Craftsman Bar. I got to try that next time we go there.
The Craftsman Bar. Oh, they kind of changed
California.
Yeah, but they changed.
I'll try that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Wow. So yeah, that my resort. Yeah, I stayed at all three All-Star resorts. I've stayed at Animal Kingdom, and Riverside.
And the Riverside.
Yeah, Riverside. So those are the resorts I've stayed at. I also stayed at an off-property one in that area that's over by Disney Springs. That was my first trip there. A friend of mine took me with him because he had a timeshare meeting at that hotel that he was going to be a part of. And he said, tell you what, I'll go to the meeting at the timeshare. You just go enjoy yourself. So I went to Epcot and toured around World Showcase and had a delightful time by myself. It was the first time that I really experienced World Showcase. And I must say, it is my favorite park there in Florida. I love Epcot.
It's by far hands down. It's amazing.
Oh,
I
goodness.
mean, it has the most alcohol, so.
Being able to drink around the world is a delightful thing. So I haven't Have not done that.
I did desserts around the world.
Now
That is awesome.
That sounds good.
yes,
Yeah.
Nathan, absolutely, it's a delight.
I mean, you have to go on diabetes watch for 2 days, but it's totally worth it.
I'll take that. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's total indulgence. It's wonderful.
One last question I wanted to ask each of you, and that was, why did you start your channel? So let's start with you, Paul.
Oh my! Right, well, it's actually, this was to prove my wife wrong. So, yeah, classic mistake. Don't try and prove Cheryl wrong. Cheryl had been saying to me for about 1.5 years that she wanted to do YouTube, and I was like, absolutely not. People will not watch us. There's still one thing that I'm right about. People won't like me. They'll like her, but they won't like me, and that's still very true to this day.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Dougie to chime in there. It's just an open invitation, really. But the whole thing was, I kind of said to Cheryl before we went away in May 2018 that, yeah, okay, fine, we'll give it a go. So I set the channel up, put the name in, grabbed the Twitter, grabbed the Instagram, and I said, right, we'll put out a few videos. They won't get watched, and we'll stop it. And gradually the numbers started going up, and I found I had to keep editing because Cheryl kept going, oh, look, the numbers keep going up. She's got a beautiful face. It's less pretty when it's smug. But yeah, it's a case of, you know, two years later next month, here we are, and we don't regret one thing. It's been absolutely amazing, and out of all of it, you know, if somebody had said to us when you start all this, you'll get to meet so many wonderful people. I know Dougie and I do joke, but actually Dougie, Nathan, Sean in the chat, Lewis as well, so many people that we've actually met, spent time with, you know, had conversations with. That's been the best thing out of all of this. It's not about the numbers. Cheryl and I have always said it's not about the numbers. It's actually that when people email us, or when people speak to us, or when somebody says, you know, your videos have helped brighten my day, we're going through a difficult time, your information's been helpful. That's what's meant the world to us. It's not, you know, not seeing the numbers tick up. It's not seeing how many views we get. It's knowing that what we've put out has sometimes made a difference to people's days. That kind of makes everything worthwhile for us. And if we were to stop it now, we'd be happy with what we've done.
Wonderful.
We're going to get to 10,000 first, Paul. Tara's
Absolutely
waiting.
not. Absolutely not. I will shut the channel down at 9,999 if I have to.
Oh, I know you will.
Because no doubt Dougie will make a fake account just for the 10,000 to say that he was the one, and I've used a very polite term there, that he was the one who tipped us onto Tower of Terror.
Can you create 6,000 accounts, please?
I have got so many accounts ready to go just to get you onto Tower of Terror.
I know you have, and that's what bothers me.
Maggie.
Okay, Nathan, why did you start the channel?
Well, I've always had love for Disney. Had my channel for God knows how many years as a media portfolio, because when I was at college, that was kind of what I wanted to do as a career. That's not what I do now. It's not what I want to do now. That's why I started the channel itself. I've always filmed my Disney trips since I was little. Since my first trip, 2006. Kind of the quality of it back then wasn't great. In fact, I can't even watch those videos now. But I kind of just decided, if I'm filming it, why don't I put it on YouTube and see if I can help anyone with it, see if anyone will watch. Didn't expect anyone to watch. Kind of thinking maybe 10, 20 people might watch. But now here I am with over 1,000 subscribers.
Wow. Yeah,
I guess that's kind of why I just wanted to share what I was doing anyway. And as Paul said, wouldn't have met so many wonderful people, my adopted family, if it hadn't have been for YouTube.
You're welcome, son.
That's all right, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Sorry, I was going to say before you go to Dougie, I don't know if any of you would have seen, there was this beautiful moment in the aftermath of all of our holidays being cancelled, where we were doing our live stream from the Hilton Hotel, and Nathan was smidgen away from reaching 1,000 subscribers, and he was really kind of, I've been waiting to get to this for ages, and we just said in our chat, Nathan's 20 odd away from 1,000, and I think Nathan ended up with nearly 1,100 subscribers by the end of the night. It just went.
Yeah,
It took off more than Dougie's cholesterol.
Yeah, you could just hear his arteries slam shut.
It's interesting you mentioned that, Paul, because I was about to say that because I saw Nathan just at about 1,000, and all of a sudden the next time I look, it's like, oh my goodness, he's at 1,100. What happened?
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was Paul and Cheryl's live stream.
It was amazing. We've said for a while, you know, we feel very fortunate that we do have the audience we have. It's kind of grown, you know, exploded in June last year from our Universal trip, and it just seems to have gone. We don't know what it is. I still maintain Cheryl is the reason that people subscribe, because it is definitely not me. And I know that both Dougie and Nathan will agree with that, and I know Sean will as well.
Yeah, it's the only reason I watch.
It has to be Cheryl. But, you know, we've now got this audience of just over 4,000. I think we went over 4 last week. And we feel so fortunate and so appreciative that we've got that audience. And so many people have seen Nathan in our vlogs. And it was a case of, well, if you've seen him in our vlogs, surely you must watch him as well. But it was surprising how many people hadn't subscribed to him. So it was brilliant. As we were going through the live stream, we just saw Nathan's head like kind of appearing out the screen here going, oh my God, I've got more numbers. And like all of a sudden, it was like a gopher popping up from the wilderness.
Paul,
and considering I wasn't even meant to be on that live stream.
That's true. That's very true as well, yeah.
Paul, with your canceled trip to Florida, I did watch the video that you made of your trip to the hotel. That was
wonderful hotel.
That was a wonderful hotel haul. I loved that.
Well, all the toilet rolls and the cleaning products, and yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to make sure we get our £96 worth. Well, if they're going to charge us £96 and not rearrange the room, I'm going to make my 96 quid's worth.
Yeah. So you were literally
pretty could have sold that toilet roll for that price.
You were ready to go get on a plane when you found out Walt Disney World shut?
So if I give you the timeline of what happened, we went to bed on the Thursday night when we heard from you guys that Disneyland California was closing. They were shutting the resorts on the Monday. We were due to go to Gatwick the next day to stay in the hotel to fly on the Saturday. And Cheryl and I both went to bed, and we were reasonably confident because we thought actually the difference between the Anaheim issues and the Florida State issues were so different that maybe they were going to give Florida a little bit more time. We kind of crossed our fingers, went to bed. I, through lack of sleep, just woke up early in the morning and saw the announcement on our phone, and it was a case of, right, 5 o'clock in the morning, here we go. We called up everyone, and the only company that wouldn't help us were Hilton. And I will never let them forget that, because we will never stay in that hotel again. They were unwilling to shift our room because we were within 24 hours. And they said, you know, because you're within 24 hours, we're not going to shift. So we were like, great, we'll come to the hotel. We'll give an honest review, which we did. And as somebody did say to us, they thought it was slightly tarnished by the fact that we knew we weren't going on holiday. Actually, Nathan was there with us, and he will testify that hotel has gone down massively. I stayed at Hilton when I saw Dougie as well in June. Good. No, and I must admit the Hilton chain has gone massively downhill recently, and the Gatwick one, with the way they treated us on exit as well, when I said, you know, wasn't great the way you dealt with us, and they went,
oh, that is so unfortunate and so
so, yeah.
So sorry. So literally you were like within hours to do that, and then you found out, and you found out that within
we have two suitcases in the next room still packed.
Oh my gosh, still mourning. I feel your pain. I mean, because we found out in the afternoon on Thursday, and we both said, give it time, give it time, give it time. And then it wasn't shortly after that that it just, they shut everything down. I mean, and then they found out that weekend, all of the Disney stores, they were going to shut all the Disney stores and all the malls. So Disney does not have a single thing open right now. Richard, and they can't even have movies right now. And rumor has it, oh God, Richard. And I mean, rumor has it is that we don't even know if our movie theaters will ever open up. That the internal talk is the Black Widow, Marvel's Black Widow, and what else is the big one? Mulan is. They're just going to neatly just put it out where you could buy it digitally.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're done. They're already in the can. Why not start making money like they did onward?
It was really unfortunate because effectively we were also within a 48-hour window with Virgin Atlantic. And And to be fair, I give Virgin Atlantic their due. They did help us out a lot. They did charge us a significant premium for helping them out a lot. What was effectively, by equating to US dollar term, what was a £4,000, so about $5,200 holiday, suddenly became about an $8,000 holiday in the space of half an hour.
Oh my gosh, that's literally your whole trip. And how long were you supposed to be in Florida?
12 days. So we were flying out on Saturday, flying back what would have been this Wednesday just gone.
So
the worst thing about all of this is because of Cheryl working for the National Health Service, her financial year ends yesterday or Friday just gone. They wouldn't allow her to rearrange her holiday. That was the worst thing out of all of this, not the price increase, not the cancellation of the holiday. The fact that her holiday, my boss was superb. He said, if you need to change your holiday, you can do. Her boss just said no.
Yeah, because
that's beyond wretched.
Well, there's a lot of fiscal years start up in on April 1st. So New Year's, April 1st is a new year for a lot of companies just in general.
Yeah, mitigating circumstances, they could have been a bit kinder, I thought, but it is what it is. So
unfortunately, that meant they had to put with me for a week.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. Could have had Dougie.
Yeah, you seem to be the only one that I know that literally had it where you were practically walking on the plane and all of a sudden it just shut. Where I don't know anybody was that close. I mean, ours was just in the tentative planning stages. If it happened, it happened. Because when we plan ours, it's kind of like spur of the moment. It's not something that, I mean, we definitely plan out ahead. But it's nothing like you think of this. We're going to Disneyland.
Yeah, we go to Disneyland. We don't have to plan, our reservations ahead of time of where we're staying. We don't need to schedule out our fast passes. Nothing like that.
No,
fast passes are achieved that day when you're in the park. That's it.
It runs so different than Florida. So, and with family and doing it, so it's kind of like, I kind of want to do it. We're a couple months out. If it happens, it happens. Again, everything is spur of the moment and fly at the seat of your pants. But yeah, that is so. It's people being there, they have to leave, and it was a logistical nightmare, and it's so freaky. I feel like we're all living in the Twilight Zone. Oh my gosh, Juan.
Yeah, I understand that one. So a lot of people have been talking about the Candy Cane Inn. They like that hotel there at. That's one of the good neighbor hotels at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Well, everyone, I guess that's about all I had for questions.
We're boring everybody. People are dropping like flies. They don't want to listen to us anymore. Blah blah blah.
I just wanted to thank our guests, Dougie, Paul, Nathan. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of PTV Live. It's been an absolute delight and a pleasure to have all three of you on the channel with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And Dougie. Thank you very much.
Now, just before anyone leaves, if you have not yet subscribed to either Walt-O-Grams, Nathan Staker, or that UK Disney couple, please do so. They do make amazing content. It's just been delightful getting to know them as well. So I feel like we have friends on the other side of the pond now.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
Yes. Just a quick, Dougie, why did you start your channel apart from to impress on people the wonderful Scottish lifestyle that you live?
I was hoping would continue to skip me.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering why we just kind of blew him off. I mean,
so my channels existed a lot longer than you'll see the content up from. There was a lot of content up pre-2016 when the channel had a different name that I did with my ex-wife. And part of the reason that I struggle to produce content, etc., is one, I never liked being the focus of the videos. It was always good to have someone else to do it. But we were just trying to capture our trips back in a time when it wasn't quite as saturated as it is now. But it's very disheartening when I look, because you can still see the analytics, even though the videos are gone, when you're getting more views on a video back when you had 200 subscribers than when you've got 1,200. But I'm going to try and use this time where I'm not allowed to leave the house to get back into the swing of things and get produced. I just don't like sticking my face in a camera. I don't want to see my face. Nobody else does.
Dougie, you're not leaving the house because of the ankle tag or because of the virus?
Well, it's a mixture of both.
The self-deprecating is strong today.
Dougie's attitude reminds me a lot of David Letterman.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So everyone, thank you so much for joining today. It's been an absolute delight.
Kill the time instead of just looking at all the stuff that's going on in the world. It's just sometimes you need to have this escape, and Disney's a great escape from the theme parks to their movies to everything. So if you want to teleport away from reality, which it's a lot right now and very heavy, we have this platform, we have technology. I'm very grateful for technology. So it's really, really great. We appreciate you guys all here. Please keep in contact. If you guys want to ask us any more questions, feel free to Instagram all of us or one of us that if we didn't answer your question, it's really hard to find out, but please do. So thank you everybody for watching us. You guys have been chit-chatting away here and our little chat thing's kind of exploding. Yeah. So we appreciate you guys all here.
Yes, and I will be doing the Daily Dose of Disney, but it will be a little later today than right now. So I usually go on in about 15 minutes from now, but it will be a little later than that. So everyone, I'll be back with the Daily Dose of Disney a little later. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us today for this edition of PTV Live. And I guess that's about it. Have a magical evening, everyone. Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.